Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Housekeepers Podcast. You know it's going to be a fun show, and you already start laughing before you even go on because Miss Murnane, how do you say that? Say my name.
Say my name, it's Murnane.
Arlynn or Arlie Murnane. I like that you turned your boyfriend at the time. Is that right? It was your boyfriend's name? And now it's your husband's name, which means now it's your name. I love that you turned it into a name. Or into a song? That's pretty good.
Actually, that's a Beyonce song. You know, say my name, say my name. So I just walk around singing, say my name, it's Murnane. I have a few other ones, but I can't say them here.
Yeah, no, I like it. My wife's name is Louise, and I got to tell you, I remember the moment that I heard her say, "Cheese Louise." I was like, wait a minute, you say that? Greatest day of my life.
I walk around playing jokes and telling jokes to my husband all the time. So I'm like, hey, you know, his name is Bob. So I'm like, what do you call a guy in the ocean with no arms or legs? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, Bob.
Okay, so that's where we're going. Housekeepers Podcast. This has been Arlynn Murnane. No, I'm kidding. It's so nice to have you on the show. I'm so excited to be talking to you, the steamer girl.
That's right.
How does
Scrubber girl and steamer girl? But
how does one become the steamer girl / scrubber girl? That's what I'm interested in. So let's go back. Let's start at the beginning because I like the beginning of everything.
Okay.
And where did you grow up? Where were you born?
So I was born in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Like Will Smith, you know, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But I was born in Northeast Philadelphia. And I lived there till probably I was about 18 or 19.
Oh, wow. So you went to high school there and everything?
Yeah.
And how was that?
In the northeast part of Philadelphia.
Oh, so you still live in Philadelphia?
No, I do not. I'm a Jersey girl now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but
I've been living in Jersey for almost 25 years.
Did you see Bruce Springsteen's daughter took silver?
Yes.
At the Olympics. And a squish it. I don't know. Whatever he rides a horse. What is that called? See, you can't say it either. Good. Aquarian. No, so okay. So you're in Jersey now, but what was it like growing up in Philly? How did you like it?
Back then, I mean, it's funny. I just had this conversation the other day. How so different it is now because there's a lot of shootings going on in Philadelphia. But when I was a kid, I had to be home when the streetlights came on. That was it. My parents didn't care how far I went. I used to do the craziest things. I think I was probably like maybe 12 or 13, and I got some friends of mine dared me to swim across the river, the Delaware, and I did. And when I got to the other side,
what?
Hey, why don't you just jump in and swim to the other side? Sure, no problem. Like, don't dare me. And when I got to the other side, like, the state police were like, what were you thinking? I'm like, let me go. I got to swim back. They're like, no. My dad was not happy about that, to say the least.
Wow. How far of a swim is that? Like, how long did it take you? Yeah.
Just tread water, swim some more. We did stupid things when we were kids. You know, sometimes I'm like, how did I survive? I ate dirt. You know, we did all those crazy things, right?
Yeah, I agree. I never swam across the Delaware.
Listen, back then you could swim in the Delaware. I won't even put my toes in the Delaware now. There is no way. So
now it's a little, more sketchy. That's for sure. Did you have any jobs? Were you a little entrepreneur as a kid? Like, how did you make money?
Oh, yeah. So my first job, I was 9, and I worked at a second-hand store, like a little thrift store, sorting clothing for 50 cents an hour. I thought I was like going to be so rich. And I'll never forget this one time I was sorting clothes, and my sister used to have this little, she called it her Tina doll. And it was this little stuffed doll. And a couple years prior, we had a really bad fire in our house and we lost everything. So I'm sorting through these boxes and I find this doll. I was like, I got to buy this for my sister. So I actually bought her that little Tina doll, as she called it. It was something somebody sewed. It was just like a little stuffed doll.
Well, that's pretty fantastic. That's really nice.
And then I got a paper route. So I have the Inquirer and the Daily News. And I branched out. I have little kids in the neighborhood working for me, delivering 200 some Sunday papers.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
was like, you
delivered.
have the east side, you do the west side, and
I delivered the Gazette, and I think I only had like 2 or 3 customers who I did a paper out too, but I had like a main newspaper called the Times Argus, and then we had this little tiny one called the Gazette, and the Gazette was almost like a pamphlet. It really wasn't.
Oh my gosh, my afternoon papers, I remember like rolling them up and rubber banding them. Like we would have a little contest who can rubber band them, the most in like as fast as you can, throwing them. I had this one woman that I wasn't very fond of, and she complained about everything. So one day I threw her paper and it went up onto the porch of the roof on the porch, and she called me up. She was like, "Where's my paper?" And I was like, "It's on the roof." She's like, "You need to go over and get it." I was like, "Okay." But yeah, I did that for actually a couple of years, and I was making some pretty good cash, let me tell you. So
were you in charge of? Did you have to collect the cash and everything?
Yeah, I used to go around like,
I'm
here to collect my money. Pay up.
Give me my $2.
And back then we didn't have the internet. I mean, it didn't exist. So it was, people had to read the newspaper. It's a lost art. Book reading and newspapers are becoming a very lost art now.
It's funny how it's just funny to me how, the negativity behind how we all look at the internet and nowadays with a little bit of disdain. And, every time we're telling the backstory of our history, we're like, we didn't have the internet,
People were like, you need to Google it. I'm like, oh. So, like Googling and, you can get information anywhere. I love to learn and I love, the whole concept of educating myself. But, sometimes Google, what do people call it? Your Google degree? Did you get a Google degree on that one?
I like that. I think I have a few YouTube degrees at this point. I get caught in these YouTube channels, sucked down a rabbit hole. 101 ways to use bleach. Interesting.
Oh God! I remember one time when I first got into the Jan Sand business, I had a little housekeeping business, and I will never forget. I put bleach into a bucket and I was sloshing across her carpet. I was like, thank God it was a carpet over top of her carpet because I destroyed it. I remember looking back going, oh my God. I'm like, don't do that.
That is pretty funny. That's happened to me too, but not with bleach, but with stripper. When you're taking some stripper to take wax off a floor. I've ruined a lot of good floors accidentally, of course.
It's funny you call it stripper and wax, and years ago, whenever anybody would say, "Oh, do you wax your floor?" I'm like, "Wax my floor?" I'm like, "I put finish on my floor." Like I was all proper. I put finish on my floor. I don't wax my floor. Like,
and what is that finish made of, Arlynn?
25%, solids and so many different.
And that solid is called wax. All right, good.
So I've been in this industry my entire life, and
wait,
Philadelphia.
Wait. When did you graduate high school? What'd you do after high school?
Went to college, and so after I finished schooling and everything like that, I came into the actual Jan Sand industry.
Really? What company did you work for? Did you go to work for somebody? What'd you do?
So when I first started in this business, I worked for a few small distributors, and I also had worked for a manufacturer, but I like working for myself. So I just decided early on that I was going to do this on my own. So I've kind of never actually been like a regular employee. A few small distributors I did. And my all-time favorite distributor will always be forever in my heart, just because, I worked for them back in the early part of 2000. It's called BioShine. They're in Spotswood, New Jersey. Dave Matisoff and Glenn Rothstein. I just love that company. I mean, I don't work for them anymore, been forever, but they were just such a fun company to work for.
And their product is called BioShine?
No, that's the name of the company. They're actually a Jansan distributor in, I think it's Middlesex County, New Jersey. They're real big in the schools and things like that. And
they sell product?
Yep, they sell just about everything.
So you became like an independent sales rep? Is that?
So I just continually educated myself in this industry, and I did lots of training and education, and I've sold products. I've also owned my own contract cleaning company. So I love to clean. When I'm really stressed out about something, there's a broom, a mop, a dish rag, something in my hands. It's probably going to be a steamer because I clean everything with steam. I clean my whole house with steam.
What kind of a commercial cleaning company? How did you get into starting your own cleaning company? What was that like?
So I had gotten divorced, and my son was little, and I have 2 children, and I didn't really want to be putting them in daycares and things like that. So I was able to work around, their schedules, and it just kept growing. When I say I'm OCD, it's no joke. Like, I clean even the little crevices of So I did very well in the contract cleaning world, but you burn out after a while. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility. I give a lot of credit to these, any company that handles cleaning, because they're always the last one to get paid. They're the low one on the totem pole. A lot of people just don't have a lot of respect for that. I don't really want to call it classic people, but.
Yeah, I think you're totally right, and especially about being last to get paid. Oy vey, what a challenge getting paid is sometimes.
I have a saying. When I go into a facility to do any kind of education or training, I always ask the team members, what is your job? What do you do? And I get so many different answers. Oh, I'm the custodian. I'm the housekeeper. I'm this. I'm that. And after they've all told me, I say, you're all wrong. I'm like, what do you mean I'm wrong? I'm like, you're all wrong. I'm like, you are the first line of defense against infection. You are the warriors, to this facility. Because if you don't do your job efficiently and correctly and with the right tools, then every doctor in this building can't perform to their best ability. And it's, in my opinion, it's my opinion. I believe it to be 1,000,000% true. These people work so hard. They do. And, when I'm in a bathroom and I see that, I walk in, I'm like, wow, this is clean. Yeah. Because of camera, they can't hug anybody anymore because I'm a big hugger, but I'm like, this bathroom's awesome.
I too do enjoy a clean space. I think that I think I'm just like everybody else in that I'm way more comfortable with parting with my money if it's in a clean building or a clean store or a clean facility, or you know what I mean? Like if it's a dirty, grimy place, I struggle to get cash out of my pocket. So it's a big deal. Money is, the appearance of facilities is a big deal.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is. It's and one of the things, during this whole COVID, in the pandemic, so many people were like, what do I do? The shortages on everything, creating like mass hysteria everywhere. And, that's why, Steamer Girl, I'm a huge proponent on sustainable cleaning.
How did you even get into steam? How is that even a thing? How did you get into steam cleaning?
Oh my God. Listen, I probably cleaned Moses' house. Okay. I was cleaning with steam probably when, you had to use coal to get it to run.
Did Moses have a house? I think he lived in a tabernacle.
Yeah, well, I would have cleaned it with steam. I cleaned a friend of mine works for the Hun School, and he had asked me to do a cleaning job for him. So on the side, sometimes I'll still do them. The house was gifted to them by the Johnson & Johnson family. And it was a 1929 beautiful vintage home. I cleaned that whole baby with steam, the whole thing.
Really?
I was pretty proud of myself, too. I was like, look at this magnificent home. But everything, walls, woodwork, you name it.
So with Let me see, make sure I'm not. I just wanna, you know what? You're frozen on my screen.
I am. I saw
yeah,
that.
so I didn't. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. All right, doesn't matter. You look great. It's not like you're frozen and it's terrible. You know, like you have like one of those odd looks on your face. So it's not a bad frozen. Could be worse.
I'm not sure what's going on with it.
I don't know either, but it was still good audio.
Stop touching the buttons.
Did you want to try to refresh? You can go ahead and try to refresh if you'd like.
How do I do that?
There's a little refresh button in the top left-hand corner. I think on a Mac, it's on the top left. Maybe I don't know if you're on a Mac or a PC. It might be. It looks like a half a circle.
I'm on Windows.
Looks like a half a circle with a little arrow on it.
Oh yeah.
In your browser. Yeah, there you go. She'll refresh and she'll be right back on. Hopefully her video will come right up. I was kind of curious. Oh, here we go. Look at you. That's way better.
I'm back.
You're back.
Oh no, she's back.
So, you know what I'm just curious. So you were talking about you cleaned the Hunt school.
So it was a house that was gifted to the Hunt School. They're in Princeton, and I cleaned the entire house. So cleaning with steam is such an effective way to clean.
Yeah, but how did you come upon learning about steam? Like you weren't born with the knowledge of steam. So where did you get it? How did you find out?
Just seeing it in the industry, being very curious. I would see big, gigantic steam cleaners. Most people think of steam where, those really big, pieces of equipment that generate like 25% moisture. The kind of steam cleaning that I talk about and that I do and that I work with is only like 5% moisture. It's called dry vapor steam. So, and it's, in my opinion, one of the most effective ways to...
Okay, so she's having a little bit of internet problems. No big deal. She'll be right back. Here she is.
Gosh!
You're having a little bit of internet problem over there. Don't worry about it.
Remember Napoleon Dynamite? Gosh!
I do. It's a fun movie.
I want to dance. So yeah, I had seen the equipment in the industry used in other applications, and I just got really curious about it. I'm like, I wonder if that will clean, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But when I first started selling and talking about steam, it was really to clean like the bathrooms and things like that, because it gets rid of odor, it kills bacteria and viruses. Matter of fact, so I just recently partnered with another company to do steam. So I have, what I do, and then I just partnered with another one in Texas. We are actually today, I'm so excited, we are
Big
doing...
announcement, drum roll. What?
We're doing a COVID study. I'm super excited about it. We'll have the results in a few weeks. And, it's to see, we're looking at doing 5 second, 3 second, 2 second, 1 second, kill times to see what the results will be. Now, lots of people have done studies and things like that.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm not completely sure. What's the pressure of your steam coming out?
So steam pressure is based in bars, like 1 to 10 bars. What I work with primarily is 8 to 10 bar steam. And it also, there's so many different factors that go into it. In the UK or in Europe, they all clean with steam, and they use 220. Here in America, we use 110. So when you plug your steamer into the outlet.
She's going to be right back. She's having a little bit of trouble. What I'm really trying to figure out is the pressure of the steam.
Go again.
Don't worry. The rule when it comes, hold on. The rule when it comes to internet is just roll with it, right? So just roll it. Don't worry about it. We're all God's children.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Just roll with it.
Hey, so what my question is more specifically about the steam is how hard it comes out. Like, is it like a pressure washer? Like it's coming out really hard and actually can clean a surface, or just disinfecting kind of with hot water?
So no, it's not coming out like, like a pressure washer.
Okay.
So with the dry vapor steam that I work with, so I have my Eagle series. I have my Blue Evolution. So Blue Evolution is something that I've been doing for many, many years now. And the Blue Evolution is a small, compact, looks like a little baby stroller. Has a little UV tank. The type of steam that I am working with actually can be reclaimed. So it has a vacuum on it. And the Blue Evolution has a UVC light in the tank to help kill what's inside the tank as well. So you're killing, you're extracting and you're steaming and killing the bacteria, germs, and everything on the surfaces, and then you're pulling them into the tank. But there's so many different steamers on the market. There's different pressures. The ones I work with are continual fill. Some are not, where you have to wait for the machine to cool down, and then you have to, pop the lid off and refill it, because pressure builds up in the tank, so that when you pull the trigger, you get that, that stream of steam. Mm-hmm. And it's the temperature is what you need to actually do the disinfecting and sanitizing. Because you figure 175 to 212 is what you need to actually kill the bacteria and the viruses on any of the surfaces, including some of these soft porous surfaces.
That is really hot.
I know it is, right? When I do demos in like nursing homes with my Blue Evolution, it's insane, because I'm like, bring me a chair. They're like, a chair? I'm like, bring me a chair. Like
an upholstered chair?
Yes. So you figure a lot of the residents that live there are sitting in these chairs. They're much older. Some of them may be incontinent. So that fabric has a lot of different things in it. And it's very hard to clean. They come in and they're using, different types of equipment to try to clean it. But when you use steam, okay, especially steam that can reclaim, which is with the vacuum on it, you're getting a true sanitizing process, because you're taking all that biological out of the fabric and reclaiming it. And you figure it gets done in there. I mean, steam is fantastic for killing mold.
It's pretty similar. It sounds like, I lost her again, but it sounds like it's pretty similar to an extractor, where the only difference would be, what I was saying, don't worry. What I was saying is that it sounds like it's pretty similar to an extractor, except the only difference is with the heat, with the steam. Because otherwise an extractor kind of does the same thing, except it's not 175. We're dealing with the amount of hot water that comes out of a faucet, which in most of the facilities that I work in nursing homes and hospitals and senior care facilities, I mean, we're lucky if we can get the water temp up to 140 in the morning. Forget all day long. As soon as the washers go, forget it. As soon as the dishwashers start going, I mean, we're competing.
Yeah. So I was saying, in Europe they use steam and they use 220. So a 220 volt steamer is much more consistent. Another big area in the United States that we use steam is to kill bed bugs. Very big in hotels, because every hotel will at some point deal with a bed bug issue. It's not about how dirty the hotel is. Sometimes they're brought in,
all the times they're brought in. They're never about the hotel. It's always about the guests bring them in.
Yeah, I'm on the board of a rehab for drugs and alcohol, and we're located in Kensington. My chiropractor, who's a friend of mine, him and I work and run this rehab. And one of the biggest issues we have is bed bugs. So, we bring these residents to come in, and they're coming off of the street. So you never know what they have. So we have to stage them and go through a process. But bed bugs is a big issue. And, in schools, in education, in dorm rooms, things like that, bed bugs can be they can be a real pest.
I just had a couple of guys from England on the show, and their company's called Spada, and they created an early bed bug detection. I have one. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. I have an.
Is it behind your dirty mop that's leaning against the wall?
First of all, that's a clean mop. I'm a trainer, so that I don't actually clean anything. I just teach people how to do it. No, they have this new product where they can actually detect when you get bed bugs into a facility. It's like early detection.
Yeah,
it's super great.
The main thing about cleaning with steam is that you don't use chemicals. Now, the chemical industry, I don't want them to send an assassin after me. But I'm not a big proponent on cleaning chemicals because they're so harmful, and especially considering some of the health issues I've had in the past, I don't want them. I clean my whole house with steam, no chems. I love cleaning my floors with steam because they stay cleaner longer because there's no surfactants on the floor. But in general,
Don't drive by such a big word. What did you say? Nerfactants?
Surfactants.
Surfactants. Surface debris? How dare you?
Well, some surfactants in them and they're sticky. So, they stick to the floor. But, so you don't need to use chemicals when you clean.
Oh, Housekeepers Podcast. We're learning new words today. Go ahead. Yeah, so we're... No, I'm a big fan. I've seen a lot of steamers do really good on grout, especially in like ceramic tile floors. Yeah, really, really great. Really smart.
I love doing the demos because, I walk into the hospital, dragging my little steamer behind me, got my little steamer girl on my shirt. Look, I have my little steamer girl back.
Oh, the internet. No worries. No worries. You are a joy. I should put that out there. Housekeepers Podcast.
I give away, so when like I said, I just started this whole new blog series, but when I go in to see the customers, I will give them like a little goodie bag or something. It must be my internet or something.
Yeah. It is 1,000,000% your internet. She's not hearing me anymore. Housekeepers Podcast. Don't worry.
Didn't you say I need to have a strong signal? I thought I did.
I did. It was in the rules. You have to have a strong signal.
I do.
It's okay.
Listen, I live in South Jersey on a blueberry farm. The only thing we have out here is Comcast.
It's blueberries and spotty
Comcast.
Spotty. That happens.
But steam is such a fabulous way to clean. I did a demo one time at a hotel. I actually drug my steamer on the train and took it to New York.
So you're saying you give away products or give away some gift bags?
Yeah, so I have these little so I make up these little bags. It's got my little steamer girl.
Steamer girl. That's really cute. That's really fun.
I put little different things in them. So when I go out and I do the training and everything, I like to make it fun.
That's
I have
awesome.
this one thing I do where when I walk in, Mission Impossible, creep up along the wall, and I'm like doing my little dent, 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 dent. Sometimes, because so when you go into schools and things like that, because of a lot of gun violence, they don't want you to use the word gun for anything. So the handle, I'm like, don't use the word gun because everybody calls it the steamer gun. So I'm in the hallway and I'm like the steamer, and I have to stop. So I was in a college, and I kept trying not to say the word steamer gun. So finally I looked at the guy and I go, nobody move. This thing's loaded. I didn't know what to do. I kept going with steamer gun. But I'm like, the handle of the steamer hose. And
what's funny is I was a columnist for a long time, and I'm still a columnist, but I was a featured columnist for a magazine called Executive Housekeeping Today. And I was a featured columnist there for like 5 years. So I did it for a long time. And, when you're a featured columnist, you have to write a column every month. And so you're always looking for material. And I actually got to go on a ride along with some police officers. And I did a 3-part writing series.
Let me do that.
Oh, it was so fun. And it was I did a 3-part column series. And the last column was titled, "It's Not About Guns. It's about," or no, wait. I can't remember how I titled it. Something about "It's Not About Guns." And it was all about, police officers. One of the big lessons that police officers will tell you is it's not that they're armed. That's not why people, pay attention and listen to police officers, right? It's way more than just you're armed. Right. And that column was supposed to come out right before or right after Columbine. And I mean, they were like, you have to redo this. We don't want any mention of the word gun. Matter of fact, maybe you shouldn't say police officer. Like, it was ridiculous. But I'm just saying, I appreciate what you're saying. Yes, they said no use of the word gun.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
so I do lots of those. So So, like I said, I recently partnered with US Steam, who is located in Texas, and I'm super excited about this, partnership that we're doing because we have a lot more products available. But, we all have the same mindset, really training and educating people and consumers about steam. Steam doesn't have the traction like it should in the United States. It's such a sustainable way to clean. When I do a demo on the steam cleaning, people are like, wow, like they're so amazed at what it can do. Glass, partitions, tile, furniture. There's just about no surface. I clean my car with my steamer.
You can clean glass with steam? How does that work?
You can clean everything. There's pretty much not a single, I don't know of any surfaces that I haven't done with.
How do you squeegee it down?
So the steamers, so again, there's different types of steamers. The two main ones that I sell are the Steam Hero and the Blue Evolution, and then we have the Eagle. So the Eagle doesn't have a vacuum on it, but the Blue Evolution and the Steam Hero do. The reason you would want vacuum is so you can reclaim what you've been cleaning. It's great for furniture, cleaning chairs. I was saying in the nursing homes, it's such a wow factor when you go in and you just run that steamer 1 or 2 passes across that chair. And when they see what's in that tank, it's pretty gross. And I'm a germaphobe. I'm all like, snap, snap, all the way up to my elbows, got my mask on, my goggles. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm going in. Taking one for the team.
So how does this correlate with Scrubber Girl? Because Scrubber Girl, hold on a minute. Let me just say that the vision I get with Scrubber Girl is so bubbles. What I get with Steamer Girl is not so bubbles. So which is it?
So hang out with me longer. You'll find out. I'm kind of quirky, weird, but I just learned to love me. So, so Scrubber Girl, I don't know how the nickname actually came to be, but I guess working for the different, distributors at one time, I would sell scrubbers. And there's nothing like, doing a scrubber demo, walking down the hallway, showing your scrubbers off. And somehow it came to be, hey, Scrubber Girl, and it just kind of stopped. I didn't necessarily like it, but I was like, okay. I actually trademarked the names because I've used them in the industry I've used Scrubber Girl for almost 25 years. Steamer Girl is only a couple of years old when I first started doing steam. But I also have my blog now, super excited about.
That's right. You were just telling me that you just started a blog. Where did you go?
This is getting old.
What is your blog title? I know you just said you started it. Is it a video blog? What kind of blog is it?
Yeah, it's gonna be. Right now it's steamer-girl.com. So I haven't officially launched it because I've been just testing it out. But it's going to be pretty much, tips, hacks, why cleaning with steam is so effective. I'm going to do videos. Just pretty much anybody that's curious about steam. I also have something called the Steam Cleaning Academy, where I go out and I educate people on steam. If somebody has a steamer, I'm like, oh, I'll come out and I'll show you how to use it.
Wow, that's really great. I got to tell you that, number one, I'm still curious how you clean glass with a steamer. Do you still use a squeegee? Do you still use a rag?
Some of the steamers have little attachments on them. So you basically just go across the glass and then you use a microfiber and you can just wipe off the moisture. But the dirt will just run down off of the glass. You can get everywhere. Your sills, all your sills. It gets into all the little places that you normally can't reach with a rag. Mm-hmm. And again, cleaning with steam, it sanitizes and it disinfects because of how hot the temperature is. There's a boiler inside your steamer that heats up to 350 degrees. Holy. So then it comes out, and by the time it gets down to the tip, where the pressure is coming out, it's about 212.
That's still very hot.
Yes,
you hurt yourself with that.
Like I said,
the other thing, steam has always been, like a a fabric thing, steam.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who use steamers to straighten out cubicle curtains or regular window treatment curtains or tablecloths. That's the type of thing that we're always using steam for.
I have an article that I'll be posting on my blog about cleaning draperies in hotels, in hospital, anywhere in your sports complexes, in the changing rooms. It's a great way because taking down those drapes is so time consuming. Mm-hmm. So you can actually clean and sanitize those drapes right on the rod as well. It gets rid of all like smoke odors because people in hotels smoke. It gets rid of the odors immediately. I love cleaning with steam. If I'm in the supermarket and someone says to me, "Oh, cleaning with steam," that poor person, mm-hmm. I'm like all over them. Steam? Oh yeah. I'll talk to you about steam. Yeah.
I like that whole odor idea where it takes out cigarette odor, and that's smart. That sounds smart.
It takes out all kinds of odor. In the urinals, you can clean. Because see, tile.
Hold on now. Now you're talking about a real problem here.
Oh yeah.
Urine odor is humongous of a problem.
Huge, because men have bad aim. Just kidding. And
I got to tell you that I was at a nursing home and I got called and say, "Hey, we have a resident who's having problems. They're urinating on the space heater." So there was a heater on the wall. And I was gross. How does that happen, right? Because you can imagine the logistical problem with trying to clean a heater that's attached to a wall in a nursing home.
A lot of large food, so we sell steam into food processing, into bakeries, because they literally I did a demo at a pharmaceutical company and it was phenomenal. I still get excited. Can you tell? I went in and they made cough syrup and they really struggled with getting the sticky cough syrup off of all of the equipment.
Oh.
I went in there, I was like, steamer gun, I'm ready to go. I went in there, I said, 2 seconds, that'll be gone. Walked in, pointed the trigger, gone. They were
wow. So what a great application. So I didn't think of that. That makes
pharmaceutical.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Any kind of factory application where there's
food service, it's huge. Now, iBlue Evolution has the NSF certification on it, which is great because in the food service industry, you have to worry about salmonella and listeria and all of these really dangerous bacteria that can.
I love that you have pictures of bacteria behind you.
Well, we have my salmonella, E. coli, MRSA. Those things are dangerous.
No question.
I had salmonella poisoning. I'm sorry, E. coli. Never again.
I was going to say, I had salmon last night. Anyway.
So, but no, going into these, food service industries is really good because you're going to kill the bacteria.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm humoring myself. I did not have salmon last night. How dare you?
I'm straight over my head.
My humor is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. No, I think that if there's an application that really makes it. I like the idea of steam and hot water, especially when it comes to factory parts. I don't know about kitchen parts.
Anything, a lot of restaurants do it. That's how a lot of times they clean the hoods, but it's a different type of equipment. But you can clean your grills. You can clean anything with steam. Kitchen, bath. Industrial factories, they clean all their parts, all that grease and everything just dissolves when you clean it with steam. Listen, nothing's getting through that steam.
I like it.
It's gone.
I like it a lot. So tell me, how did the pandemic affect your business? Was it positive for you, negative for you? Was it?
It didn't really change it for me just because, infection control is infection control. For the most part, I just didn't go out as much. I wasn't out seeing people because I couldn't. But still selling steamers. There was one point, I think it was in March of last year when we had that real big shortage on the disinfectants. I was getting a lot of phone calls. I need a steamer. So because, again, they got to disinfect and they were struggling. It's so hard. One of the biggest challenges that I find being steamer girl or being in the industry of steam, and again, I'm very passionate about it. I love the sustainability of it. I love the healthy environment that it creates, is that it's hard for people to get out of that mindset. Gotta have disinfecting chemicals. A lot of those chemicals, and I'm not saying all of them, there's one chemical company I love. It's called Spartan. I used it years ago. And a newest product that I've been, I have one chemical in my arsenal. It's called Spectrakel. It's on the end list, but it's a H2O, base. So is that some of those chemicals you have to wear like a full respirator? Remember Spray 9?
Yeah, you know what the
Don't spray that in an enclosed area. They'll find you dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you'll read the label and it says you're supposed to have a mechanical air mover involved, so some kind of a mechanical exhaust. But you know what the challenge is for those of us who work in the healthcare industry is there isn't currently any green products that are deemed safe to use in healthcare. There's no green disinfectants, according to the CDC. Zero.
Well, there's some. I have a product called Spectrakel that works phenomenal. It's on the end list. But again, when you work with infection control people, it's very rigid. It has to be. Because, not just, it's not just about COVID. Mm-hmm. It's about staph, MRSA. Mm-hmm. I had a friend long time ago whose son contracted the swine flu, went into the hospital and ended up with MRSA, lost both legs below the knees, 4 fingers. His son was 9 years old at the time.
Oh my gosh.
These bacteria and viruses that are out there in the world can be very, very dangerous.
No question.
We need to have the products that we have. But for me, and the way I promote the healthy environments is that, one, steam is always first and foremost. And I'm cautious about what chemicals I want to push or promote because some of them can be very dangerous to the respiratory systems. You see and hear people, COPD and asthma. Those chemicals will trigger that, and it can be very dangerous.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying, as far as healthcare goes, the only green products that we can use in healthcare are a window cleaner.
Yeah.
And a window cleaner, maybe a deodorizer, which a lot of people don't even like using a deodorizer.
Yeah, people like enzyme cleaners. I'm not a fan because a lot of people don't realize, but when you put an enzyme cleaner on grout, enzymes are just continually munching away at bacteria. They can eat away at that grout eventually and start breaking it down.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And they have those, a lot of places put those aerosol cans up in the hallways and they spray every certain amount of time.
And you know what? I'm always the girl walking through the door when it goes.
Perfect timing.
I'm not smelling like a watermelon.
That's why
everything's smelling like Chanel. I walk out smelling like a watermelon.
That's why I love the idea that steam can clean and counteract the odor of urine, because urine is a big deal.
Anything biological is an issue.
Yeah, because it gets in the tile, it gets underneath the toilet, it gets in the grout. It permeates everything, and it's super hard.
And it gets airborne. And you don't know, that the other side of, being careful is like with COVID, it's an airborne. So you don't know what's permeating into the air. That's why our Blue Evolution has that special exhaust system and the UV light. So any of the air that's coming back out of our steamer actually has to go through that tank of water. Remember the old rainbow vacuums? It's the same concept. Mm-hmm. And it has that UV light. Now, the only thing is that once that water in the tank gets dirty and brown, the UV light doesn't work anymore because it can't work through the dirt.
Can't penetrate.
Water. So, but, steam can do everything. There's nothing that it can't clean. It's safe. It's effective. With the right education and the proper training, it's one of the best ways to clean. And it's more efficient because you're not rubbing and scrubbing that dirt and scraping. And, it doesn't harm finishes on floor. Now, of course, you're not going to stand there and hold the steam gun over it. You wouldn't do that on any surface. But, I clean my wood floors in my home with it. But again, I like to put a little disposable microfiber on there and zip around my house with it.
Yeah, but there has to be some type of swiping, scrubbing, cleaning, agitating. You just steam it and it disappears.
That's correct. So you bring me your dirty, bring me your grimy, and I'm going to show you. So the way my camera is still on. It agreed. So what happens is, again, you have that, depending upon how many bars, 4, 6, 8, 10, the higher the bars, the better. Coming out of that tip at 175 or 212 degrees, nothing's going to survive that sucker. Nothing.
Yeah, but and again, no, I appreciate everything you're saying. I just never used one other than to do, like I said, like the steam wrinkles out of fabric. And so I don't know. The ones that I used, like it almost comes out like a cloud of smoke. Like there's very little. Yeah, there's very little pressure behind it.
It's got no backbone.
It has no backbone.
The ones I have are like WWF wrestlers coming in the door. We're here to kick butt. I always say I'm here to chew gum and kill dirt. And right now I got no gum, so we're gonna kill dirt. Another really great thing about steam, and I did this demo at the Rochester Medical Center. The guy literally ran out of the room and says, "I'll be right back." And he went and got the director of the facility. I was removing gum out of the carpet.
No, so I can totally see that because steam is effective for gum.
Yeah, that's great.
So is ice, which is the opposite, but it's just the idea of.
Yeah, but then you have to cut.
Yeah, it's the idea of either being able to lift it with heat or freezing it, and so that once you freeze it, you're able to take it off. Yeah,
but the steam just actually, because the sugars that are in the gum just dissipate.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I would imagine steam would be a lot more effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my only question is about the pressure. So I just wonder how you get the surface clean once you get it steamed.
Okay, so pretty much I have my steamer, and I'm going to come in and now, cleaning and disinfecting, again, they're always going to be two separate processes.
They are, sure.
You have to clean, and then you go back and you do your disinfection.
Right, and so the steaming is for the disinfecting more than
No, it's for cleaning as well.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm talking about is you come in and you wipe all the dirt and dust off of the counter. Now you're going to go back in and you're going to take your disinfectant. Now they make one step, cleaning and disinfecting in one. I always say whenever you combine like a scrubber and a sweeper together, one's going to suffer because you can't, same thing with the steamer, 220, 110, different voltages. But when you go in and clean with steam, you're cleaning this, you're actually with the high temperature going over the surface. So nothing can survive at that temperature. So if there's any, ooglies and little germies and little viruses on there creeping around, partying, living the life, they're gone. They're dead. I'm coming in there and I'm cleaning house. They're all evicted.
Got
it. And nothing can survive at that. So, but again, there's, sanitizing, disinfecting, stainless steel surfaces are great. That's in bakeries and in hospitals. They use a lot of those surfaces because they're not, they're not porous and they're much easier to clean. But again, so you break down, you're breaking down those barriers of the dirt to get to the actual surface.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I understand. That's pretty great. So what's next for you? I know you said you just partnered up with, who is it?
Lunch.
USA Lunch. Who is it that you just partnered up with? You said USA
Steam. US Steam.
US Steam.
Texas. Great company. And we're coming together and we're working together to conquer the market. And really, primarily, we just want to really educate people more. That's why I started the Steamer Girl blog. Because I really, I know it's all cute and funny and pink and I'm sparkly and I love all my girl stuff and my little eyelashes and whatever. But I got to tell you, in all seriousness, when it comes down to it, it's so important that we clean healthy because so many people have been affected. I mean, think about years and years ago, a lot of people developing all those respiratory diseases, and you got Boohoo Law Firm. Did you clean with this chemical in 1900? Well, you have a lawsuit. We want to, minimize the risk exposure to our team members so they can effectively do the job. If you give these people the right tools, they're going to do the right job.
Yeah, no question. There she goes again. I agree with that. Give the people the right tools and they'll do the right job. Here we go. Arlynn is back.
Yay.
Arlynn.
So again, Steamer Girl I'm hoping that this blog will go viral. And no, I'm not doing any TikToks. I don't want to do that. I don't think, no.
TikTok is not terrible. TikTok can be fun.
I find myself doing a dance every time I watch it. My poor
Not everybody on TikTok dances.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a lot of great businesses out there.
I'm not really big on social media, so I'm actually learning right now, like Instagram and, everybody Facebooks. Okay, you Facebook, I Facebook, let's Facebook together. All right, why not? Hey, did you like me today? Yeah, I like you. But it's the best platform. It's the best platform to get it out there. So I just want to educate people because if I go out there and they're like, there's always that one guy, I've been cleaning for 600 years and it's not going to do anything. I'm like, okay, let me amaze you. So I go in there and I show them how easy it is and how effective it is, and people love it. They love it.
Do you actually sell a steamer?
Yes.
What is it? What steamer do you sell?
So I have Blue Evolution. I have Steam Hero, they're all Italian. Almost every steamer is made in Italy. They actually do make the best steamers.
Oh.
I also have the Eagle, which is U.S. Steam. U.S. Steam has all of those right now. They have all the brands. And I'm working on something else, but I can't say yet. I want it to be a big surprise.
All right.
I'm growing. Growing my masses.
That's good. So where do people find you? Where do they find your...
Find me or leave me. No. So they can go to my website, nobeliumgroup.com. So nobelium is my favorite element on the periodic table, element number 2.
You should have picked a harder word to spell.
Nobelium. Nobelium's named after Alfred Nobles.
Oh.
Inventor of dynamite.
Oh.
So yeah, Nobel Peace Prize. So I named my company the Nobelium Group. It's okay.
So it's nobelium.com or Nobelium Group?
It's the nobeliumgroup.com.
Got it.
And then also ussteam.net.
ussteam.net. That's who you just partnered with.
Yes, and if they go to the website, they can see all the beautiful steamers. And if I go anywhere, dragging my little steamer in town, my little steamer girl bag. I'm like, I'm here. That's steam.
I like everything about it. So, are you going to be, or your company going to be at the ISSA trade show in Vegas?
Yes, we'll be in the international section.
Wow, wonderful. I'll be there as well.
Balloons. I'm actually going to wing it and try to do a balloon arch.
Steamer girl, scrubber girl, balloon arch maker. You can add that to the resume.
But yeah, we'll be able to show people, do demos, all different applications, tile, wood, fabrics, glass, windows,
Yeah, that's really wonderful.
Bring me your objects and I will see them. Another really big thing real quick is daycare centers. Think about your child being in a daycare center with all these other little kids and hand and foot disease or mouth and foot, whatever one it is, I forget. They all put their feet in their mouth and their hands. And all of those toys, you don't want, people are spraying them with bleach. That's so dangerous. You can go in there, bam, steam them buggers, and all them little germies are running screaming.
That is a really interesting application as well.
It's a phenomenal application.
There's a lot of people who push there's a lot of people who push the fogger machines, which is all chemical based.
Yeah,
but
that's
they have the foggers, they have the 360s and all that.
I'm a big fan of Victory, so don't send me any hate mail.
The challenge with a fogger is it doesn't clean anything.
No, it's just used for disinfecting. It's just, the thing about foggers and electrostatic sprays, they're just great because you're taking the chemical and you're able to spread it out in a wider area, and then it lets it dry so it can effectively work, because all disinfectants have a dwell time to actually kill all those little bugs and germs.
Absolutely.
But see, think about, they're spraying that chemical in the air, and it's landing on all those toys that those kids are putting in their mouths. I'm like, I have 4 grandchildren. I'm like, not my grandkids. No.
Yeah, no. So that's what I was going to say is I appreciate that, because I didn't think of that application. Whereas in long-term care and hospitals, rehab centers that I work in, the place where we find those foggers the most effective is on things like gym equipment.
Yes.
Because it's so hard to clean gym equipment, because we're talking, normally it's all stacked against a wall, and there's like a bunch of walkers and wheelchairs and weights and pulleys and ropes and all this stuff. And so to have a fogger is a really effective way to just kind of like blanket. It doesn't do a good job cleaning, because you actually have to clean.
You're not cleaning anything. All you're doing is putting a layer of chemical to just kill the bacteria. With steam, you're cleaning it. And you're because all the dirt's gonna run off of it. Yeah,
but that's just it. That's what I didn't think of. Is I didn't think of the application in the daycare centers, because you're absolutely right. The fogger would be effective as far as disinfecting, but there is no way to get the chemical off the toys.
No, and again, once they fog it, and I mean, you don't know. I mean, people can be very. I'm sensitive to everything in the environment. It drives me crazy, and. For me, I just don't want those things in my body. We talked about real quick before we started the show about being plant-based. I'm 55 years old. I want to live to be 155 years old so I can stop steam.
You can be.
I'm a little steamer.
Have you ever listened to Darren Olene? He does a podcast, Darren Olene podcast. Let me give Darren Olene a plug. He's really great. He's a plant-based guy, but he did this whole show with some famous actor who I guess everybody knows. I don't know who it is. I can't think of his name, but a young guy. But they went and they toured.
Do I get 3 guesses? First 2 were wrong. Just kidding.
Well, I wouldn't even know who it is. So maybe if you told me, maybe I would get it, but I don't remember who it is. Young kid. Anyway, they went to this place where there are a bunch of centurions, meaning there are a bunch of people who live well over 100. And I think it's a place in Italy. And they were trying to figure out what exactly was the reason. And it's funny because their whole diet, not only is it plant-based and whole foods, very least, not really processed.
They drink lots of olive oil.
They eat a lot of carbs. And, which is quite the opposite of what we're told here in America, that carbs are bad, protein's good.
Yeah, but they also walk a lot. They probably eat healthy carbs too, and they probably walk a lot. They're walking all that mountain terrain.
Yeah, they're eating pasta. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, I have to be really careful because I told you what kind of COVID I got, and it wasn't the regular COVID. So I'm still talking. Like I said, I'm a long haul with it. So for God's sakes, I just,
I'm just saying, if you're
pounds, it's killing me. I feel like I'm dragging a.
If you're interested in learning how people live to be over 100, maybe check out the Darren Olene podcast, because he did a television show and everything. And be forewarned, if you do listen to Darren Olene, he will talk you into being plant-based.
The one thing I found is that living a cleaner and healthier lifestyle from using cleaning products, I actually feel healthier. I feel better.
Oh, good. Good.
When I clean with steam, it's just that, there's no smell, there's no floral, there's no vanilla, there's no nothing. It's just clean.
You've got to, I think there's a really wonderful tagline here, and it's, when I clean with steam, I get the sensation of a cool breeze on a mountainside.
Oh my God, I'm so going to use it.
It's a total ripoff of
sensation of just fresh air all around me.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation. I love those commercials.
So, but no, it is effective. It works great. I just hope that with my blog and, promoting more, like I said, I've never been big on all that social media stuff. I'm learning it right now, so I'm going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Listen, I prayed all morning, dear God, please don't let me say something, because I'm one of those people, brain, mouth, boom. I'm like, I'm sorry if I offended you. I didn't mean it.
I don't think you offended anyone. It was wonderful having you on today's show.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
What's my name, Murnane?
Say my name. It's my name.
It's Murnane.
My husband's going to come home and be like, oh, God, I can't believe she's going to
sing it with me. What's her name, Murnane? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely.
All of Arlyn's links will be in the show notes, so that's where you can find USA Steamers, which is USsteam.net. I don't know why I want to cut an A there, the United States instead of the United States of America. The USsteam.net or Steamer Girl, the Nubelium Group.
Right, the Nubelium
Group.com.
Right, and steamer-girl.com from a blog.
Steamer-girl.
For steamers.
And your
anybody that goes to they can just message me. I'm on LinkedIn. If they want to buy a steamer, I will give them a 10% discount if they say that they saw me, that crazy steamer girl, on the show.
I love it. 10% discount from the steamer girl. Top. I like it.
You're going to kill me for doing that. I feel like you announced it in the year.
That's it, the Housekeepers Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening today. If you enjoyed the show, please, make sure you subscribe to the show. And if you really like the show, please write a review. Tell your friends about it. The more subscribers and reviews we get, the more people we reach, which is, of course, the goal, just to tell fantastic stories about people behind the cleaning industry. Because as you're seeing, as you're hearing, as you're watching, they're pretty amazing people. And they deserve to be followed and liked and shared. And so please do that. If you want to be a guest on the show, please don't be shy. Reach out to me, info@ralphpeterson.com. Love to have you as a guest on the show. Other than that, for Arlynn, what's her name, Murnane? And me, I'm Ralph Peterson, the Housekeepers Podcast.